How about that for power? How about that for power, Mrs. Woman? You want to have power? You are the birther of the world we live in today. Not like that there's war between... No. It's you. The world we live in today is the byproduct of you. Now that's why you ask, why does a woman want nothing to do with her power and wants to do nothing with responsibility? Because you don't want to see your power, nor take any accountability for your creative power and what you've birthed. You've birthed the world of Lucifer. Now I didn't say you're evil, nor did I say you're a bad person. I said, well, I respect your power, I respect what you're able to do, and I respect the choice you've made, and this is what you've given birth to. So don't talk to me about patriarchy, no patriarchy. This is bullshit. He's the God of this world. It says so in the Bible. Lucifer is the God of this world. You are his fucking queen. And through you and all the versions of you, that means the women, he is birthing and has birthed and continues to birth this world. And these sucker men, the descendants of Adam, are the slave jiggas of the system. Now you are also a slave. You are conned to believe that you're a queen. You're no queen. You're a bitch slave. He's using you just as he's using everybody else. That's not even a question. That's pretty obvious. It's not a point. But that's what you've birthed, which means what? If the world is to become something else, it's you who has to choose to birth that. But you can't choose with your mind. You have to actually discover the root cause of the disease. And that means you will have to, because you see in the Garden of Eden, this is just stories, but these stories are so profound. This is how it goes. There was a hierarchy. There was the God, your homeboy Adam, then you. In the Garden of Hell, we have the serpent, you, and the jigger. So the story goes that you said, I don't want to work for this fool. These are stories or no story, it doesn't matter. I don't like that, the level of hierarchy here. I don't feel comfortable with that. So there's another story, it's Adam and Lilith. And that bitch said, fuck that dude. I want nothing to do with that prick. I'd rather burn in hell. I'm leaving. That's what that bitch said. Right? So people think that then God reinvented Eve. No, Eve is Lilith, just the dumb version. It's the same energy, except at the surface, she acts like she's a moron. She's still not subordinate to you because you a bitch. You got no power. So Eve and Lilith is the same person. This is a secret. Lilith is the version that is like totally blunt. It's like, this is a loser. I cannot have sex with this. First, they don't have sex, but that's it. We don't do fuck all here. Eve is Lilith with some kind of like tampon on it, and it's just like, I'm stupid. What's going on? Which you know exactly what I'm talking about. So every woman you meet, there's a thing downstairs, right? And then there's the retard at the top. Sometimes the retard thinks it's intelligent. The thing that's kind of like disassociated from what's really happening that you think is her, that's Eve. That's not. So it's the same, nothing's changed. He just remixed it. He's like, that's not going to work. So instead of her leaving right away like that, we're gonna make her stay so that you can follow, so that you can then go build his world. Because otherwise they're not going to build fuck all. Anyways, I don't know if you understand, but it's fun to think like this. So the point of the story is, when there's dharma, it's not that the man is superior to the woman, it's that the man has a specific function. And in order for the woman to respect the man has to be incarnating that God power. Because without that God power, who is she going to follow? What is she going to birth? She's not going to fuck God, because technically God ain't got no dick. So you're supposed to be the dick of God. So she then chooses to fuck you if you're the man, because now you God. She's going to fuck you, and then she can birth the kingdom of God. Now you, as Adam, you were a simp. You're still a simp. Ain't nothing changed. She's like, who's going to bang me? First of all, there's no banging here. What the fuck? What kind of party is this? I'm bored. Well, we want to do something. There's no party happening here. Comes the serpent and says, listen, come here. We're going to have a party and we're going to bring this loser. I'm going to put you in charge. And he's going to fuck you because you're in charge. And I'm going to use his power and his semen to birth my world. Because he's not a man, he's just a shell, but he has the seed, he still has the seed. So we still need that elemental power. But she's now, quote unquote, in the Garden of Hell, she's the man. She's the representative of the God, which in this case is Lucifer. And we just need that idiot for the seed. But his seed it has no power in it. It's just a seed. It doesn't lead to God. So I don't know if you can understand this. I hope you do. I don't know if it makes sense to you. I hope it does. If you haven't thought about this, you'll have lots to think about, for sure. So this for me is very clear and pretty obvious. And all you got to do is actually study women and hang out with women, understand women at a deeper level, not at the level of Eve at the surface. Not at the surface. You have to understand how energies actually work. You have to take a minute and ponder creation and life and say, well, how do we get from a place of order to such a zoo? Such a place of chaos. And the chaos is only getting worse. It's not ever improving. So there's clearly a disease, and the disease is just getting worse and worse and worse. And everything the man, literally the man, with his testicles and penis is trying to do is to appease the issue. But no matter how much he tries, he can only appease it for an instant until the issue, the inflammation gets worse and the problem expands. So he needs to find new solutions with new technologies to hold it together. But it keeps on getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So you have to stop and ask yourself, well, what's happening to humanity for their internal turmoil to constantly be increasing forever for eternity? And what is the consequences of having such an inner turmoil? Well, the consequences of being totally always in a state of pain and panic means you constantly need to create to solve problem. If you had no problem, you wouldn't do fuck all. Which means the creative potential of life itself, at least in that pathway, would never express itself. How does nature create an iPhone? There would be no iPhone. But nature has the capacity to build an iPhone, but it can only happen if the human being, man and woman, who are the representative stability or the anchoring points of power in this realm, are out of balance, which creates chaos in their reality. And therefore obliges the man, literally, the ingenuity is from the man. Thus, man births from his mind, his intellect. And he's trying to solve the issues. So if it wasn't for that, nothing would exist as we know it. Something else would exist. What it is, we have to discover. But clearly, the world as we know it is a byproduct of some kind of issue, original issue. And your average person doesn't want to look into that. It's just deep. This is not fucking deep at all. Well, it is, but it's not. It's not so deep, it's in the first pages of the Bible. This is obvious stuff. It doesn't take a genius to put this together. Something's wrong. Yeah, obviously something's wrong. What's wrong? Everybody's in scarcity. Yeah. Well, why? Well, it's like if we don't have the water of life. It says so in the Bible. You don't have the water of life. Everybody's like not drinking. What are you going to do? Well, I don't know. That's what everybody's trying to do. Try to figure out what to drink. And they're all only drinking Coca-Cola. So if you drink Coca-Cola, if you've ever drank Coca-Cola, you always have to drink more so that the feeling of thirst disappears for an instant. But 5 seconds later, you're more thirsty. So if you drink more Coke, the feeling disappears, but it only lasts for a couple of seconds. And the more you drink, the more thirsty you become. But if you keep on drinking without an end, then you never feel the thirst because you don't give the thirst the moment to come. But when the thirst comes after your 15th can, you're so thirsty, you're gonna die. You see what I'm trying to say? Well, that's drugs. That's what I'm trying to say. Because there's an issue, and the issue is not able to solve itself at the level that we're operating here. So if we come back to what I was saying, the woman is the key. She is the one who chose to say fuck the guy. And I'm saying she said fuck the guy because he's a simp. I'm not saying, for me, look at him. And all she did is like, yo, asshole. You want to break God's commandments because you're a loser? Sure. That's it. That's your first, how do you call that? Your shit test? First shit test. Hey, moron. You want to eat from the fruit we're not supposed to eat from? You want to do that? It's fun. We ain't got nothing else to do. Okay, well, you're going to love me then? Sure, I'll love you. Yeah, see, nothing's changed. So that's the power of choice. But in order for there to be order, if the man was in a position of power, the choice is very easy, because the power of the God is superior and includes the power of the serpent. The only reason the bitch went that way to the serpent is because you simp. If you were in the power of God, you would have also the qualities as the serpent. That means that creative potential, you could do anything. It includes that world. But as long as you remained an innocent infant, it's not very sexy, is it? Nothing can come birth from this. Nothing can be birthed from this. Anyways.